Good morning, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. It was a day of high drama, multiple calls for the Prime Minister's resignation, many more questions about exactly which events the PM attended, a party leader being chucked out of the Commons, and a joke about Jimmy Savile from the man leading the country. As Boris Johnson faces the prospect of being questioned by police, we'll get reaction on today's show from the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, the Lib Dem leader, Sir Ed Davey, and the SNP Westminster leader, Ian Blackford. Plus the former Shadow Foreign Secretary Jack Straw, who knows only too well what it's like to live through a PM being questioned by the police. It's Tuesday, the 1st of February. You're very welcome to join us wherever you're watching us around the world this morning, whether it's in Iceland or Africa. Good morning, everybody. The Prime Minister will attempt to put the dramatic events of yesterday behind him as he heads to Ukraine today to try to stop a Russian attack. But has he stopped an attack on his own leadership? He faces being questioned by police after Sue Gray released parts of her report into lockdown party allegations, which pinpointed failures of leadership. Senior Conservatives say the jury is still out on his future after multiple calls for the Prime Minister's resignation, but he met backbenchers last night in an attempt to shore up support for his own position. The Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab, and Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, on the show this hour. First, let's remind you of some of the key points that you are waking up to today. They look a little bit like this. Police are investigating 12 of the 16 alleged gatherings Sue Gray is looking at. The Prime Minister reportedly attended at least 3 of those events, but was he at a 4th as well? It's reported the PM's wife, Carrie, held a party on the 13th of November in the Downing Street flat after Dominic Cummings left Downing Street. This is the one of the events the Met is looking into. The Metropolitan Police says officers will be contacting those who attended the events to hear their accounts. That could even mean the Prime Minister being questioned face-to-face. Officers have received more than 300 images from the Cabinet Office to review. They've also been sent more than 500 pages of information. Top civil servant Sue Gray's report concluded that there were failures of leadership and judgment by different parts of Number 10 and the Cabinet Office. Here's John Craig. Deputy PM's with us. So much to talk to you about. Good morning. You got the short straw this morning, didn't you? And he will fix it. What does that actually mean?
Well, the Sue Gray report has been published.
It was a party, then he was ambushed by a cake, then we had to wait for Sue Gray, now we have to wait for the history of those.
But, well, again, allegedly. But look, if you're going to have
How many parties do you think he was at?
Look,
of the public. So either my right honourable friend had not read the rules, or didn't understand what they meant, and others around him, or they didn't think the rules applied to Number 10. Which was it?
Alleged gatherings on government premises during COVID restrictions received 300+ images, 500+ pages of information. Reviewing materials shall confirm which individuals will need to be contacted for their independent account. Who was frustrated that it wasn't published in full, and she doesn't trust the Prime Minister. She's not going to give it to him. She's keeping it under lock and key.
Well, I'm not quite sure that those are the words that she used, but...
Find out all this information rather than the police.
Well, no,
It's always interesting to tussle with a lawyer. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, as always, Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you. Do you fancy the job? If it's...
I'm fully supportive of this Prime Minister. He will go on. He'll win the next election. I'm very confident in that.
OK, we will, of course, clip that up. Thanks very much indeed, Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you. I nearly called you Prime Minister then. Let's have a look at the papers. A failure of leadership, says the Metro, quoting the report, support. Some of them stood up to speak in his support, and there was a lot of nodding from the front bench, as you said. I mean, what would you say to the front bench of the government this morning?
They know that this Prime Minister cannot be removed unless they act. I think he's unfit for office, and I think they should act and remove this Prime Minister who is not fit for his responsibilities. And they've got a choice.
Inquiries from the police.
Oh, well, I mean, it's up to the police now how they...
Join us. We appreciate you taking the time. Thank you.